Exactly, and we are in the draft. Number one ban, just like we talked about, Cole. That Udyr is gone for GDI, and from the side of Uncle and the
See ya.
Nephews, paying just great respect to get me out on this Azir, and even banning out his Syndra. Just both teams taking a look at the enemy side and really identifying what's been working for them over the course of week one, and just very fast ban phase as the very fast ban phase as the Lucian Alistair will round it out for the boys, with the Mundo being the last ban for the side of Uncle and the Nephews. And the picks are flying in pretty fast as well here. Galio first pick for the side of the boys. This is something that we've seen Black Wando just have a lot of success on in that week one. This support he was able to use to stop just about every engage that was thrown their way, but as well as engage himself. So I think a very strong pick for the boys round one, as we will see the Oriana Sivir. Champagne Sour really loving this Sivir so far, his most played champion. I might be wrong here, but at least 2 out of the 3 games now played on this Sivir, if not all three.
For sure. We've seen the Oriana pick, not surprising there. We know who's on that one. We'll see how the boys choose to respond.
Yeah, and that will be the Jinx locked in. Has eaten some nerfs. Her rocket now capped against ultimate monsters, so she's no longer able to do over 1,000 damage, I believe, but I believe that's 1,000 flat damage, not counting the bonus missing health. So I think that her rocket can still go up to 1,500, and at rank 3, 2,000, just about. So really good for the side of the boys. Though she's taken a little bit of the nerf bat, she's still definitely a very strong pick in this bot lane. With the Cho'Gath, and this is what I'm liking. Something that Sin mentioned was he would like to see some of these players just get over the ego. Just get over, I want to be the skill matchup. I want to be on the Camille's. I want to be on the Fioras. And just pick someone who can be in the front, tank a lot of damage, and, just be a sponge for these teams.
Yeah, for sure. You need that on your team, right? You need to have that balance. So definitely, hopefully, some of our contestants and players have practiced that here in scrims this week, and we'll see how comfortable they are in those style of champions.
Yeah, and I think that'll be very interesting to watch how that progresses over the course of the season. As it looks like it will be Lulu on this Bug Pudding, I fully expect this to be going top lane for Bug Pudding and not working with the Sivir on Champagne Shower. Bug Pudding playing supports, or 2 games of supports, one of the Lulu and one of the Karma, and I think that they're just putting her right back on it. It looked really amazing. While it looks like the Morgana Annie will follow, as the side of the boys have not picked up their mid jungle duo yet. Their last ban now banning out the Karma. Very interesting. Perhaps thinking that this Lulu might be going bot and Bug Pudding might still take the Karma top. But I definitely think this Lulu is going top, just from what we've seen out of these teams.
For sure. Yeah, that was something I noticed last week. Well, that style of composition, heavy enchanter, not a whole lot of tank meta. They're just playing their own style of game, which is cool to see.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? Because it really turns out like, oh, as the John is locked in, and that just confirms what we were thinking, and that the
Same
Lulu is
story.
going to be the bot lane. We have
Yeah,
this double enchanters. So much peel from the side of Uncle and the Nephews. This
yeah.
John and Lulu are going to make this Sivir, who already has Spell Shield. Oriana, you imagine she's going to go the Phase Rush. Her Dissonance will give her that bonus movement speed, as well as these other champions and Sivir ult. These, you're never going to be able to jump on these guys, but the Fiddlesticks does come in, and maybe it will be something, a pick like this, that you're able to surprise the enemy team. You can get off these big ult fears onto the team and try to blow up a target before Lulu or Janna are able to respond.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like, again, as we see the Victor locked in there for the final mid rotation there for the boys. Lee Sin showing here for Uncle and the Nevs. But to your point, Z, they're only going to take fights that they want to take with this amount of peel, with these two enchanters. I mean, Oriana as well. Just a lot of positional control. You see a composition like this.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the Graves is a great pickup here. The Lee Sin would have been interesting, but I think that, a pick that I'm holding my breath to see show up in a solo lane, I think that would be so fun to watch, especially out of players like Benjamin Zipper, who does have that jungle experience, does have a lot of hours put on the Lee Sin itself. So, from the side of the of Uncle and the Nephews, you definitely see what they want to do with this draft. They want, like as we were saying, to all fights are going to be under their conditions. The problem does come in that at some point you're going to need to face check, possibly into one of these objectives. And in this team, I think the person who face checks is Graves, and that is someone that can be 100-0 if the Jana or the Lulu are not close. But for the
Yeah.
side of the boys, the Victor pick, I understand. Yeah, I understand the priority. A lot of AP damage. I might have liked to see some AD with the Fiddlesticks jungle and the Cho'Gath top, but between him and the Jinx, they're gonna have a great mix of damage of AD and AP. But I do think that this Victor pick, as we've seen in MSI, for anyone that's been following, Victor actually is 7-18 in MSI and on a 9 game losing streak when Humanoid had pulled it out this morning against Damwon Kia. And I feel like this is a pick that, yes, you scale and you get very strong, but will they be able to live through the early game priority that they're going to lose? The Graves is going to be someone who can work really well with the Oriana, and you can say the same with the Fiddles, but that mid priority is just not going to be in favor of the boys. And it'll be interesting to see how they handle that and if they're able to take that pressure and survive to the mid to late game to when this Victor will be able to take over fights.
Yeah, for sure. See what what they can do. I think for the boys, what I keep looking at is the amount of CC they have into this team. Um, and I mean that spell shield works on Sibling one good time. I mean there's some other peel options like you say with Jano and Lulu, but again, looking on the side of the boys, I just see so many opportunities. I mean, all five have essentially point and click kind of CC, and I don't know. We'll see if they can lock them down. It's objectives.
One thing to follow, they have two champions on their team that have a silence. I think that, if they're able to get that off and, Fiddle's able to jump over the wall, fear everyone, and he's able to get a silence off. The Cho's able to get a feral scream on a Lulu before she gets ult down, onto Jana before she ults. These are people that can completely take over the game. If Cho'Gath just flash feast one of these squishies before they're able to react, something that takes, you need to react faster than a half second. That's how fast you would have to be to react to a flash feast. And if either one of them just fumble that play, that's definitely an avenue that the boys have. So I think we're definitely seeing a clash of styles as the boys have been leaning more towards these heavy engaged comps with a lot of CC, and the side of Uncle and the Nest have been going these enchanter peels. And with two of our 2-0 teams, these are the two teams right now, Cole, that are playing these styles the best. So I'm excited who's going to win this immovable object versus an unstoppable force.
There you go. That's well said. Yeah, for sure. This will be interesting. I'm curious to see too if we get any level one shenanigans. I think both teams could go for some cheeky plays here if that's something they're interested in. But we'll see here in a little bit as we're getting ready to load into game. Game one, the boys versus Uncle and the Neffs. Let's see what they got for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what goes down this game. And, just one quick point, I think itemization is going to be so key for the side of Uncle and the Nephews, more so than it will be for the side of the boys. So, should see some early Lord Dominics coming out of this Graves and Jinx if they have any hopes to get through this front line. But if they don't build that, or if they get behind, I think this game becomes very tough to play. But we've said the same thing before about Uncle and the Nephews, so I
We
am
have.
I am not gonna put it past them to be able to pull off this composition that definitely has a higher level of skill expression than the side of the boys.
Yeah, we definitely have had. I remember this conversation from the last game we cast of this team, and to your point, we've had this talk before, and they came out and performed on it regardless. So
Yeah, some early pings going down. I do believe this will be the 5 point defense. as we do see pings going down just around every mouth of the entrance. And the boys, you could tell that all of these teams have a great influence. Champagne Shower should see them coming. That is the fear coming down. Jinx W goes wide. No zap to be landed. That means no slow. Could have been a flash out of Champagne Shower had that W on the Jinx landed.
Yeah. Gets out there just a touch. Just by the hair on his chin, but nothing doing there. We'll reset to our appropriate sides, to our appropriate camps. Look like Fiddlesticks will start with the bot lane here on the red buff. Graves pathing rather, GDI rather up to the red side, so as well, his top side rather. So looks like opposite side starts for the junglers.
Yeah, so both the bot lane will have to be a little careful here from the side of the the boys. And excuse me, I actually did not realize the boys do have a sub today at the ADC position. Mr. Action filling in for FaZe Monster today. But I think someone that I'm looking forward to watch, as we did talk about GDI and Benjamin Zipper being the two people we're watching, Bug Pudding as well, just definitely gave our input on them. Iridescent Poro, also someone, didn't really get into his numbers as much as we did GDI, but someone who dominated jungle matchups last week in this week one, and I think that these two junglers are going to be really fun to watch kind of clash here, as it will be the Sivir Janna lane that does get the early push. Everyone knows Janna just so annoying to deal with in lane. She's just gonna keep coming up, W poking you. You're so slowed you can't even run back up to do anything about it.
Yeah, Janna's just one of those champs that when played right is you just hate to see it if you're on the enemy team.
Yeah, some
Trades
nice
going down here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, half health already for Mr. Action. Should be able to heal up. Did opt in to go for the fleet footwork. Definitely going to give him some more sustain here in the laning phase, as Iridescent Poros, cheeky, stealing away this blue buff. Might be found out here. Does have the smite, able to smite that away. GDI on level 2 has to flash away as well. But Iridescent Poros still has his flash, giving the team a little run around the Rosie, as that is a fear going down on Benjamin Zipper. He might be caught on the backside. Does that will land on Champagne Shower, but a great hurricane knocks them both up from the Janna. Mr. Action stepping up and taking some damage. Iridescent Poro does get the heal off, and that's a great steal on the blue buff. Does cost Poro his flash, but able to get in and get some farm away from Graves here.
Yeah, you see the response there from both teams. Everybody's just ready for the smoke. We didn't see much there. Traded some flashes, lost the blue, but everybody returns to lane still 0-0. Uh-oh, more action maybe on this crab here for GDI. He sniffs it out.
And the Scrab, Cole is a C9 fan. I'm a little skeptical when it comes to crabs, as that will be Champagne Shower taunted up. Does land. He will be slow, does have to burn the flash, but Mr. Action says I'm about that action as he gets first blood on Champagne Shower.
Yeah, Mr. Action there, just well done to secure that. Almost makes it out of Champagne Shower, but that last auto there, trading the flashes as well on the bot side. We'll see what else happens here for the next 5 minutes, as neither ADC will have that available.
Yeah, and that should be Scuttle secured. Will be interesting to see. It looks like Fiddlesticks will just sit for a gank. Wanted to see if he would maybe go up and try to get something done at that top Scuttle, but that is going to be the priority from the Lulu, and with Victor so low on mana, I don't think they really want this. Is Poro moving up? Giving me a little bit of C9 flashbacks here, as they were called temporarily Crab 9, just their inability to play around this top Scuttle. So every time I see something go down around there, I just, if you see the goosebumps show up, you see me get a little nervous, you know why.
I understand that. I can understand that. So we got 1-0 now. No goal lead for either side as we approach 5 minutes. You see the first Drake getting ready to spawn in here is...
Oh, GDI coming in for the invade. He said, you took my blue, I'll take your life. As Benjamin Zipper actually able to get the assist off the backside of that, and he will hand that blue over to Benjamin Zipper. That's got to feel nice so play. Good as a mid laner.
Nice play. We see the Ocean coming in as the first Drake here. Yeah, nice play, GDI and Benjamin Zipper there. playing really aggressively as GDI's blue side a little bit got taken, and he's willing to invest the time to get it back.
Yeah, and you gotta remember, as actually we'll see Dick Long just getting dived and taken down. He knew that the
Good
Graves was in the
night.
area, and just it's a great job by the Lulu to chunk him out and just make that such an easy dive.
Yeah, I think it looked like he sniffed that out and was going to check and just went at the exact wrong time as GDI was just waiting right there to take advantage. 1-2 now the count as Uncle and Nephews have opened up a 1K gold lead.
Yeah, and that gold lead definitely coming from some CS discrepancies being built, not just to kill onto Iridescent Poro, but Graves being able to counter jungle him, take that blue buff, handing it over to the Orianna, but also being able to take away the Gromp. And it's these kills and then finding things on the back of these kills that's so important. And just really good play from Uncle and the Nephews to capitalize on just the chances they have.
Yeah, for sure. This is how they do it, with these compositions. They get these little leads, it's 1K right now. We'll see, who's gonna move towards this first Drake, and then these little things become huge when you have a composition like this. Um, that can really just, dictate the game on their terms. With any sort of lead, it makes it that much easier. It gives them more opportunities to take more advantages.
Exactly, and just taking a look at this jungle matchup, already up about 2 camps is GDI, as we will see Matt Teacher being engaged on. That is the Chompers going down. He will be rooted. The Ignite ticks him away. Champagne Shower getting chased by the excited Jinx, but Jinx is still burning. They are chasing into a wave. Does not have the Chompers as the teleport comes through. That will be the heal burn to try to get them the movement speed to get out. It's just the Lulu. I don't believe they'll end up killing here, but Mr. Action steps in, does not have enough attack speed, and picked up by Bug Pudding on the last
Nice.
side. So close. That was Mr. Action thinking that he had the damage to pick up Champagne Shower on the back of that, but just underestimating the damage coming in from this Lulu.
Yeah, very nicely done there by Bug Pudding to teleport in. You got GDI up here covering top side as well. Probably some really great comms in the last couple minutes here for this side of Uncle and the Nefs. As now the count is 2-3. Still the same 1K gold lead on the side of Uncle and the Nefs.
Yeah, and this gets into, as Vidi brings up, Lethal Tempo Rip in the chat. This is one of the downsides of going something like the, excuse me, like the, out here forgetting, the Fleet Footwork, excuse me. With going the Fleet Footwork, you will have a little bit more sustain in lane, just as every auto after you're charged to 100 on a Zeal stack goes up. But the Lethal Tempo, the Conquerors, both things that I think if Mr. Action has in those fights, they do win. And we do have 4 people converging down on this dragon. You have to think it's theirs. Is Matt Teacher getting a little crazy with it? What a great hit on the Blast Glove that won't be followed up. Oh man, played really well. Had the gravity field and the Magnet Storm up. Definitely something that could have, been used to just burst the Jonna down, at least get the flash off, but won't be followed up on. But very slick coming out of Mr. Action.
Yeah, I think the boys are just content to take that first Drake and return as they realize that the top side is getting ready to suffer likely the Rift Herald.
Iridescent Poro able to smite away the blue buff as the bot lane tries to collapse, and these guys are just taking turns trading, as GDI was able to pick up the Rift Herald on the other side, and this will be first tower going down on this top side. They're doing a great job punishing this Cho'Gath lane, and even with the TP play to the bot side, 2 kills picked up for Bug Pudding, so able to hang out as Dick Long stepping up a little too far here. Has to be careful because this tower will drop. As it does back off, but this Cho'Gath is just going to be about surviving this pressure, because it seems like the Graves definitely wants to expend a lot of time up here at the top side. Great spell shield by the Sivir will just get rid of that taunt, as we do see Benjamin Zipper moving down here in the river. Looks like the boys will just back off, and he'll return to mid lane though.
Super early tower there for the side of Uncle and the Nefs. Sub 10 minutes is good. As that gold lead now stands at 2K. Still 5 plates does Bug Pudding have in his top outer turret. As we see the 2 members of Uncle and Nefs threatening mid lane, threatening enemy jungle. As Iridescent Poro is still hanging on the bot side, trying to make some plays happen here.
Yeah, Iridescent Poro, this game's getting scary. Just at 10.5 minutes, down 32 CS to this Graves now. Spending a lot of time trying to make things happen, but now 2 whole levels down on this Graves. Need to spend some more time farming and some less time sitting in these bushes. You see him just sitting in this bot lane, looking for a chance to make this dive happen, waiting for his bot lane to push up. But is that really how you want to play? This Graves is just growing this lead, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. As this will mean, yes, they are able to channel some. And here we might have to dive. The Jinx Rocket comes in, raining down the Hellfire. Champagne Shower drops, and that is a great pickup. Iridescent Poro burning a lot of time, but great job by them making it worth it as they pick up a quick 2 kills.
Yeah, just as we're, mentioning all this time gone by, we have Iridescent Pearl make a play that maybe makes it all worth it. It's going to be probably a tower here in the bot side or close to it.
Yeah, Bugs.
We have 3 members from the boys still hanging out here.
Yeah, trying to get as many of these plates as they can. Remember, they were able to finish off that entire tower in the top side. So a lot of what that gold lead's coming from is those plates, as well as the first tower blood. Iridescent Poro is going to find GDI here. GDI getting feared up, healed up, but I don't think he has enough damage. Remember, he is 2 levels up on him, as we do have a little bit of fighting going on in the mid lane. GDI will just run up, should be able to meet up with Bug Pudding here in the river, but they do have Get Me Out roaming down here. Get Me Out will be there before the Orianna is, and right into the gravity field. Get Me Out picking up the kill on GDI. The shockwave hits too, but is it enough? Mr. Action able to get excited here. Will be able to finish this off. I don't think he gets away, but the distance will slow him down. Chompers are not available as a great ulti comes through from the Janna, able to knock Mr. Action back. I don't think they want this, as it is actually the Ricochet that picks up the kill on the Mr. Action. Get Me Out trying to run for his life with the last auto. Picks up the double kill for Champagne Shower, and this is a bloody game. Gold lead 100. It's not even existing right now. This game is so close between our top 2 teams right now, Cole.
Yeah, it's a punch and counterpunch situation. We had a nice play there by the boys, but then it was answered immediately by Uncle and Neff's kill count stands at 6-6. Things are all square from my perspective right now. We had the Herald traded for first Drake. We got plates about even across the board if you look on the map right now with what's missing. Very good stuff, like a boxing match actually right now. So back and forth we go.
Yeah, just played very well from the side of Uncle and the Nephews, but also the boys, and just being able to step up and do what they need to be doing to come out on top of these fights. They're playing their comp to the aggressive style, where we've seen other teams, when the Uncle and the Nephews get this lead, they try to slow it down. They stop just going forward when they're drafting these comps that are put in place to all in somebody, to get a hard engage. They're sticking to their guns, and I think we're just seeing a great balance between these 2 teams. And this gold lead really only separated by the plates that they've been able to get off this mid and bot. Is Get Me Out taking some questionable pathing here. Is able to just drop the gravity field, stops everything, and a great flash. He will miss a shockwave. That will be Lulu ultimate, and the Gale Force will go down. Does blow up Iridescent Poro. Iridescent Poro is down, but remember, Dick Long is still on this Cho'Gath, does have the flash, able to get a feast, would be huge. Orianna does not have the shockwave anymore, but she is just absolutely shitting out the damage right now, as Mr. Action taken very low, and I think the boys are just going to have to give this already with 1 dragon. No problem giving away the second dragon. Does put a pause on a potential dragon stack win objective, but remember, they are on the team that as this game goes longer, they will get tankier. They will get more damage on this Jinx, on this Victor, and as the Cloud Drake is going to be our Drake of choice, for the side of the boys, they're going to have a lot better time fighting in these fights the later the game goes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's...
Get Me Out might be caught here, and that will knock him up. Here's nearsighted. Oh, slow, knocked up. Just the whole fam is there to bring you some love. Uncle and the Nephews showing the boys mid laner Get Me Out just exactly what is going on.
Get Me Out didn't get out soon enough in that one. As now we see the gold lead back up to about 1,000 for Uncle and the Nephews. Nice play there. I mean, kind of telegraphed. I think Get Me Out should have realized, there's a couple players missing as the vision, I wouldn't dictate that he would have been able to see them, but unfortunately gets caught out there. 8-6 now. Uncle and Nephew's up 2 kills.
Yeah, and that is Uncle and the Nephews trying to move on the second Rift Herald of the game. Nobody else in the area means that they probably will be getting this. I think that for the side of the boys, they're just looking to slow this game down. You need to get more farm on this Fiddlesticks. Still 2 levels behind this Graves, down 37 CS. You know, this Fiddlesticks is going to be big in these team fights, but in that last fight, just as we saw, it's these little differences. The shockwave lands on Get Me Out. The Gale Force in from GDI, and the ultimate will send Get Me Out packing. This Victor is just not having a good time, and this is the problem that I was talking about. This early game Victor, you need to be able to survive the storm that this Orianna and this Graves will be bringing, and right now, Uncle and the Nephews are playing it very well. They're capitalizing on just shutting him down while he's still in this weaker state.
Yeah, to me, this is like a little bit better, I guess, pre-game planning or team comp planning and or just like live comms, right? Like, it just seems that Uncle and Nephews are, at least in the last 3 to 4 minutes, taking a lot of advantage of any misstep, any overstep, and noticing where, I guess, Fiddlesticks is on the map, Iridescent Portal that is, and just really, taking advantage of Get Me Out every chance they get. I mean, the man hasn't been able to play the game for the last 4 minutes,
Yeah, he's definitely playing Gray Screen Simulator right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll
on cooldown.
Yeah, unfortunately. Does have the TP back up now, though, and it looks like they will just be moving him to this top side. I'm not sure if he's really going to be able to get much more done in this top side, but perhaps feels like he won't be aggressed on as much as if he was in the mid lane. And, the Uncle and the Nephews are lucky. Could definitely attribute some of this turnaround play that Cole's talking about in the last 3 minutes. As we will see an engage. Big taunt coming down. And there's a Death Rocket. That will be Lulu Hunt on herself. And Black Mondo able to get out of there. What a great ulti by Iridescent Portal. Able to pull out the flash from GDI as well as the Math Teacher. That is a lot of ults down. No longer any more ultis as Benjamin Zipper flashes over, is able to get the command move and the distance off to pick up a kill on the backside. The Victor fighting off, and Mr. Action flashes, but just a little late. It's already in the air. The Cho'Gath's feet does go down, able to pick up the Graves, but Champagne Shower is popping off. Another double kill. This Victor is massive. Able to just kite back, but no storm coming out from him for an ultimate means that he can't move back in and take these kills. And I mean, such a close fight. So many flashes burned. The only people walking out of that fight with a flash are Champagne Shower and Bug Pudding. Get Me Out also retaining his, but a lot of flashes down means that this next team fight, no one's going to have any escapes.
Yeah, so what's, I think, interestingly in that fight, if I noticed correctly, Dicklong Cho'Gath was there pretty late. So one thing is we still have both TPs up for the top laners, both for the mid laners right now, as this third and really important Drake here is spawning.
Yeah, and that will be the Cho'Gath ulti, as we do see coming through here in 15 seconds. An ability that they didn't really get to use at the last dragon fight. Got chunked out at the beginning. Said, hey, this is your guys' first dragon. We'll just handshake it. Meet you guys at the next dragon. Well, we're at the next dragon, and Mr. Action has to be a little careful. Able to take that blast cone right back over. GDI just dashes over the wall. Wants all the smoke.
All the smoke. We're going to have that here literally momentarily, as it seems both teams are getting ready to posture up around this objective.
The Math Teacher, I don't think he wants this. GDI is coming around with the Gale Force used immediately. Oh! And the Boomerang Blade from Sivir able to pick up that kill on the backside. Mr. Action is out of this dragon fight. You have to think they're giving this one again.
That's bad. We already expended Dicklong's teleport as well. It looks like they're going to just go at it 4v5. I'm not opposed to that action. We'll see.
Yeah, remember the Orianna does have her shockwave here, so able to command a lot of attention. We're going to see where this Fiddlesticks looks to go, trying to get around for the ult, but how they're playing in that jungle as the shockwave does land on the Dicklong, locks him up, and he is not taking up. What a great ultimate coming through from the Fiddlesticks, able to pick up the shutdown on Champagne Shower. The Bug Pudding falls, Benjamin Zipper falls, GDI is running running for the hills. He might try to dash over and give his life to pick up this dragon, but that is the silence coming through. Black Wando sitting there ready to taunt him up, and he just goes down for nothing. That is the ace coming through for the side of the boys.
That was crazy. What a play. I told you I was interested in that 4v5 action, and they executed on it. That was a massive turnaround. Gold counts at 12-13, but the gold lead now belongs to the boys. About 2K almost. It'll balloon here if they're able to secure this Baron, Z.
Yeah, but this is really scary. Remember, Benjamin Zipper coming up, and like we just talked about, TPs were not expended by both solo laners, so here comes Benjamin Zipper and Buck Pudding moving in on this. GDI is not spawned yet, so no flash, but they have to be careful or get me out already very low. That will be the shutdown. They might have overreached with this player, Desemporo, trying to stay on this Baron. I don't know if they have enough damage. They have to be careful. This is all or nothing. Desemporo does pick it up. Congratulations, you got 1,500 gold split between all of your members, but you just gave them 4 kills, a triple kill over to Benjamin Zipper, a shutdown over to Champagne Shower, and this is huge for them to get back in the game.
Exactly. We were talking about this earlier, the prize fight thing, the boxing match thing. This is just back and forth we go, you know? So we see the gold lead now, relatively same position, about 1,000, still to the side of the boys, but all those shutdowns, a lot of that gold there, that triple kill, it's gonna hurt here in the next couple minutes as we have Uncle and Nephews pushing.
Yeah, but they need to be careful here. People will be up here. Everyone is up now. If they want to siege and try to get this, it will be dangerous as there actually is the Baron buff. Black Wando was able to get out of that last fight with this Baron buff. They can return right back down mid, and off of these slow resets, let's see what they do. If I'm on the side of the boys, I just want to barrel down the mid lane. Get as much as you can out of this Baron. You just sacrificed your entire team to get this, so do what you actually can, but we are seeing people already splitting off here. Gold lead now, only 400 gold different. We're in a 22-minute game. I think this is the closest game we've had, Cole.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell there's some serious concentration going on in this one right now. Yeah, I think both teams understand that they're 2-0, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be 3-0. Also, I will say, never mind. Okay, looks like Champagne Shower's out. This will be the first team fight we have has yet to happen with 5v5.
Oh, get me out there. Remember, Champagne Shower does not. What a perfect rupture. Like... Oh my gosh, played so well by Dick Long there, just right into the gravity field. CC lock, 100-0, no spell shield available. You cannot cleanse a knockup regardless, and just a great pickup on Champagne Shower.
Looks like we won't have a 5v5 team fight just yet either. With Champagne Shower getting caught out there. Baron buff is a couple seconds away from being finished, but...
Oh, the shockwave does go through, but that is on the 2 tanks of the team. Iridescent Portal going through with the great ulti again, able to push everybody back. Knockup lands on the math teacher, just not able to do anything as the Lulu does come through. Mr. Action does have to be careful here. GDI expends the ultimate, but not able to get anything. This Jinx is massive, but Benjamin Zipper coming through with the command move and the dissonance means that I think Mr. Action doesn't want the action anymore.
Yeah, it looks like we'll disengage here.
Yeah, speaking of a disengage, that is a Sivir ultimate. Looking to just chase this guy down, and you look at this Sivir, you look at this Lulu, this Janna, and they're just slowing people down as that will be Black Wando engaging just to make sure his team is able to get out. Played very well, able to kite back here, but looks like they don't have a minion wave to play with. No tanks on this team, remember, so no one can just step up, help them finish off this tower, so that means they will just deny some jungle camps. That will be the entire north quadrant, and you have to believe most of the south quadrant of the jungle.
Yeah, those type of disengages are the ones that you cannot count on in a solo queue game. So for those of you that may not understand, that took an enormous amount of will and communication from the side of the boys, and at all end, Black Wando's ultimate to be able to successfully disengage all 5 members of that team.
And Cole, what is absolutely insane is everything aside from kills this game, we are dead even. Both teams have relatively the same gold. Both teams have the same towers on both sides. I mean, just mirrored. This game is fun right now.
Yeah, we'll see who can take. You know, the boys have managed to get the Drake lead. They did secure that first Baron, right? So there's been a couple things that they've ultimately won out on as we have some more action here in the Bois River.
Yeah, GDI able to just dash over that wall. Champagne Shower does ulti in. The Magnet Storm drop, or the Victor ulti dropped right on top of his head, almost taking him down there. We'll have to expend the flash to try to get out of there. That will be a big cooldown down, and Iridescent Boro does have his ultimate as they look to go in. That is the shockwave used. No shockwave to be had for this fight. The person I am looking for here, Cole, is this Fiddlesticks. How is he going to play? Sitting in the pit right now. They are able to just free hit this dragon. It looks like Uncle and the Nephews know they can't face check into this team.
Yeah, the thing about this is it's Cloud Soul, right? Cloud Soul is widely thought to be kind of the least valuable. You get some move speed, you get some cooldown reduction on your ultimate ability, but it doesn't give you like a base stat increase that just makes your team overall thicker, right? So
Right.
I don't know. We're starting to see this shine through finally, and Uncle and Neff's this
And it might be caught out here. The Rupture does go wide.
idea of having tanks in the game.
Yeah, that will be the
really
ulti pot by Champagne Shower. The spell shield does fall right there, but here comes the Feral Scream to silence GDI and the Matt Teacher, but that will be them in disengaging. And Cole, they're running into the wall. Here comes the immovable object.
Yeah. Just not enough damage quite yet. Again, I think in the chance that this goes to a 35-40 minuter, items can be picked up on the side of Uncle and Neff's to break those barriers. But currently, the boys seem to be in complete control.
Yeah, I think a little lost to Shopkeeper here is one of the things that we were talking about. Is this team wants to do anything? Graves and Sivir will need Lord Dominic's. The Sivir has finally picked up a Last Whisper, but I understand you want to go this Duskblade build, and something I even talked about in the best of 3 yesterday with Southern Oregon University and Eastern Oregon University was that if your main source of AD is going to be your ADC and you're building lethality into these multi-tank teams, you're not going to get as much value out of it as you are with something else. Luckily, they do have the Graves as well for another source of consistent DPS, so not as much of a problem here, but the problem being the Sivir is now going for what I think would be a Lord Dominic's, but because of this lethality build, might be the Cyrilda's Grudge. Definitely won't get as much value out of that as she would the Lord Dominic's. Iridescent Pora sitting out of ward, does not know. But Eisenwill does bring up a good point. The Cloud Soul actually pretty good for Victor and Fiddlesticks. That's a lot of cooldown, especially being able to pick up 3, especially for Fiddlesticks. After he ults, just that movement speed. But, I mean, if I'm this team, any other dragon, Eisenwill, also to be the devil's advocate to that, is just so much better. A Mountain Soul makes you unkillable. Ocean Soul means that you're healing and just out-sustaining while you're already having, like, more health and more of these defensive stats. And Infernal Drake just speaks for itself. So while Cloud Soul definitely good, as the Shirelli's popped by Matt Teacher, and here comes Champagne Shower dropping in as well, but that's just onto their tanks. A great ulti by Iridescent Boro, but an even better ulti and a better shockwave as Dick Long goes in, health dropping low. He might get picked up, is able to flash. Mr. Action falls on the backside of that. GDI able to pick up that kill, able to pick up the kill on the Shellcam, and they are just cleaning up the boys. Iridescent Boro has to run for the hill, and the Uncle and the Nephews are running straight for Baron.
That was the one. That was the fight that they needed, right? I mean, I think the big issue there was Fiddlesticks got his ult kind of canceled by Champagne Shower. Or excuse me, by the Math Teacher pushing him away. That's all she wrote, boys. If that Fiddlesticks ult's not going off, that's been the equalizer or the great weapon at the disposal of the boys thus far. And Uncle and Nephews snuff it out. Cancel it, essentially.
Yeah.
Take 4 kills and start the Baron. Also, N-Hip goes down the mid lane for the boys.
Yeah, and I think looking at that fight there again, they need more creative angles out of the Fiddlesticks than what they just did. Fiddlesticks just ultied in from the same. Oh my god! The Mega Death Rocket able to fly in. Champagne Shower so low and gonna have to back off, and they just dissuade the Baron with a beautiful ulti. Dicklon coming in. The Shockwave just to dissuade him from doing anything. He could rupture over the wall and capture somebody possibly. But this is Baron right back to the side of the boys. They will not relent. Every time you give them an inch, they take a mile. This is the most intense game of tug of war we have had in the ULS so far.
Yeah, this is a banger. That was a great shot by Mr. Action, filling in here for the boys. I mean, what a ballsy call. Just shoot the shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Z. And he hit that one for the double kill. Helps his team secure the Baron thereafter. Just an insane play to keep this game knotted for all intensive purposes.
Yeah, and absolutely nobody cares about the cap being removed against epic monsters. The cap against champions hasn't changed, and just able to get in there and clean up those kills. Said Baron, thanks for the help. I'll take it from here. As this Fort Dragon is spawning, the Mad Teacher needs to be careful. Might have to expend the ultimate because here comes the taunt. Taunt does catch him. Still does not want to use the ultimate. Expends a flash. Realizes he needs to save it for the fight. As Iridescent Poro going in, but Benjamin Zipper just over the wall, raining down absolute hellfire. Another shockwave landing solely onto the tanks. Is Champagne Shower able to pick up the kill on Iridescent Poro and just stepping just too far. Something like that will be big here. Champagne Shower stepping up will have to flash because you cannot deny the damage coming out of the Math Teacher. And excuse the Math Teacher, but get me out. Says get me out of this game. Get me this soul. This Victor is online.
The Victor's big online, Big Z. I think one thing we have to monitor, though, if you look back at these Nexus turrets for the boys.
Oh, and the dragon stolen! Stolen the choke out had the feast! Iridescent Poro did not have the smite. Miscommunication ends in disaster. Mr. Action picked up on the backside of that, and round and round we go, Cole. This game is delivering at every level.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just keep going back to that boxing metaphor, because that's the only visual you can really use to describe this. We're just back and forth, punch, counter punch, go to your corner, rest up, take a break, round, whatever, and then we're right back at it. Great performance here by both teams to keep this game alive. The Dragon still there by GDI is massive. To keep Uncle and the Nephews in the game for just those 5 more minutes.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Eisenwell brings up in the chat, this Fiddlesticks going in these fights without the Zonia's Hourglass, definitely something that you see typically taken by Fiddlesticks, and they're, and you know, it's usually what empowers them to go into these fights. In these, we are seeing Iridescent go in and just getting absolutely exploded, especially when Benjamin Zipper steps up on him. So we will have to track when he grabs that. Looks like he is opting into what looks like a Morello's, but this Zonia's would do absolute wonders for him. So it'll be interesting to see if he picks that up.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, that's usually the second item build on a jungler like this, that, you know, your Morganas, your whatever, that are looking to use their huge AP AoE CC spells to have the most impact and still be alive to kind of help the team clean up objectives thereafter. So we'll see what Iridescent Poro techs towards next. It actually looks like Morello's, but he does have the stopwatch started as well. So maybe that Oblivion Orbit's just for the healing reduction, and that'll be it. But
I hope so. Glad that the stopwatch is now finally picked up. That will be absolutely massive going into this next fight if he's able to get in. And, I mean, look at that. Dick Long is very tanky, but just now has the Force of Nature. Definitely itemizing more for this 80 damage coming out. But Benjamin Zipper doing a lot of damage. Sitting on 4 items and going into his Void Staff. Already sitting on the Blighting Jewel for that mana penetration as the Math Teacher gets chunked out. The Mega Death Rocket will do mega minimum amount of damage as it is an execute. And using it on a half health Janna. She's just going to heal that up. They have the, they do have the Moonstone Renewer, though not as good as it once was. Still a great item on this Lulu. Math Teacher should be able to heal up to full here. And right now we're just running around, farming up, just caddying for positions. No major objectives up on the map yet. But man, this is this is so close, Cole.
yeah, I think the next Baron spawn is what I have my eyes on for. Who's going to end up closing this one out. It seems both teams are content to just kind of kick it right now. Try to focus on some economy.
Yeah, I feel like from the side of the boys, trying to get more gold onto your jungler. Sitting now just 2,500 gold on the enemy jungler, but still just about that same 1,500 lead on the top side. A 4,000 gold difference, 3,500 in the mid lane, and a 2k gold lead for the side of Mr. Action at the ADC position. And we don't track support gold as much, but it is a 1,000 gold lead for this Galio over the Janna. But just the gold exactly where it needs to be, and in this duo that we had so heavily talked about coming in Benjamin Zipper and GDI, able to really come in here and just seize control of this game as they have done in their last 2 games prior.
Yeah, we'll see here. I think the big ticket item right now is your boy Benjamin Zipper with the 700 gold shutdown. If he dies in a team fight, that might be all she wrote. As we see the boys posturing here in the opponent's topside jungle and now retreating back. Looks like we're going to have some action on this, what will be the 6th Drake of the game, as now the boys have secured 3 and Uncle and Nephews with 2.
Oh, and Mr. Action caught up on the backside, able to back off, and it looks like there will be no action going around this dragon just yet. GDI chunked already. Will has to use the Gale Force to get out of there. Gale Force should not be back up for that fight. Here comes the Silver ulti, but again, Benjamin Zipper lands his ultimate on the 2 tanks, able to just kite that out, and it looks like no Baron will be had, and gosh, everybody looks so worried about just pulling the trigger and going in for these big plays here. But it looks like the Uncle and the Nephews will have the inside track onto the dragon. They will just send GDI down to contest it. If the boys can sniff that out, then they should start this Baron, but it looks like they won't. That will just be the free dragon pickup. Great macro coming out here from Uncle and the Nephews. Dick Long does have the teleport. Would be able to back and TP back in with full health if need be, because Uncle and the Nephews are looking to push the issue here.
Yeah, they're posturing up, looking like they're searching for some vision maybe around this Baron. So we have all 5 members from Uncle and Nephews really kind of taking the same real estate here, looking like what you're saying, Z. They're ready to force this issue. And we'll see how it all gets started. No face checks here from Black Wando. They can smell that something is not quite right here.
Yeah.
Everybody's missing from the map. We can see the Baron. These guys are likely right here. We see the pings coming through on the side of the boys.
Very good from the boys. You see, they just completely unwilling to move up into this side of the map until their tanks are here. And as soon as Uncle and the Nephews leave, they start a Baron just to check. Do they see us? Are they still lurking? Just back right up off of that, but keeping Uncle and the Neffs on their toes for sure.
You see Bart putting in the top side tent to just grab some gold here. It looks like we're working on item number 4. Relatively even. Game state stayed the same for the last few minutes. We'll see who's willing to shoot the shot first.
Right, this Cho'Gath is just getting absolutely massive at this point of the game. He is being chunked down, though. You have to imagine next item has to be Warmog, so that way, if they have things like this, he will just be able to just back up and just regen to full. As another knock-up hit, and, this Cho'Gath, as tanky as he is, this poke is doing quite a bit onto him. Already down to 25, a little over 33% health.
Well, teams have such good disengages. I think we're just going to see this kind of stalemate for the next few minutes here, as, we don't have to do anything just yet. We don't have to show our cards just yet for either side. And both sides have really good disengage tools, as opposed to really good engage tools, We've seen when the Fiddlesticks can get in, lace the damage down, lock them down with the ultimate, get the fear off, good things happen for the boys. But then on the adverse, we've seen when Benjamin Zipper can find the shockwave, things go really well.
Oh, get me out, might be caught out, and a flash will get him out of safety. The Silver ulti, he did not want to step back in, is able to Zonia's, and that will be the Galio coming out, but a shockwave time perfectly takes Get Me Out, and this might be all she wrote. Get Iridescent Poro able to pick up Book Pudding on the backside, but that's not a lot of the damage. Here comes Mr. Action flaking around. I don't know if he wants to be there. The Death Rocket is able to pick up the kill onto the Janna. They're flashing for it, trying to make something happen. Mr. Action, remember, just use the chopper to try to get away, and that is a shutdown picked up by the side of Benjamin Zipper, they did not have their tanks with them. And that means that this backline is just able to be dived upon and blown up. And this is Baron for Uncle and the Nephews.
Yeah, that was again, these picks. I still don't think we've had a straight up 5v5. Hey man, let's get it type of fight. Um, Again though, fairly, it could have been worse for the side of the boys. They take a 3-for-2 trade in the end, as all the members from both teams will be back here in about 20 seconds. Um, we are facing a do or die situation in the Dragon Pit momentarily. As we can see, Big Z, both teams securing 3 Drakes for themselves. We'll see who pulls out this fight. I think the game is called here. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. And though it's just Cloud Soul, one of the lesser of the 4 dragons, we'll have to call it just by our own and a lot of other people's analysis. But I mean, I think it's really going to come down to this dragon, not because it's Soul, but because of where we're at in the game, and because no matter what, we're getting a team fight. And I think that this team fight is going to come down to Iridescent Poro trying to find a creative spot of entry. The last fight where they're getting cleaned up, the transition to a dragon, he jumps on Bug Pudding. Not really the target you want. You want to get on this Sivir. You want to get on this Orianna. You want to get on one of these big target threats or the Graves, And you want to come in from a different angle. Cho'Gath might have to blow the TP to get with the team. Not even the mid tower, and here comes the TP. Will be towards this mid brush. They need to get this spell shield down off Orianna. Iridescent Poro does use the ulti into the pit. Nobody was in the pit yet, though. That is a big shockwave landing onto the team. The Cho'Gath should have the ultimate, but actually just tries to zone off the enemy team. This is all bad as they're just bullied out of the pit. And Iridescent Poro unable to pick up the dragon. Does blow the stopwatch, and just the lack of vision spelled this game out for the boys. Better control from them, and just a much cleaner play from them going in this late game is what's going to net them the victory. Is Get Me Out is just trying to run away, and the math teacher on this Janna being an absolute menace. Oh no, Bug Pudding here on the Lulu. Supportal combat like you've never seen it before, and it is all over as Uncle and the Nephews will close out game 1 against the boys.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't understand why there wasn't more, effort put towards that fight there by the boys, as we see their nexus destroyed here. It seemed like they had, they knew it was going to be there. They had both teleports ready, but I don't know. I think we were a little bit late to the fight. We didn't have vision. And then we kind of put all of our cards onto a Iridescent Poro ultimate that ended up hitting none. GG.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to take that shot, right? The dragon could potentially be going down. At that point, it had already been spawned for quite a bit. So just taking the gamble and hey, perhaps I can hit their team. I know Orianna is with them. We just saw her off to the side. But if I can get that fear, if I can 100 to 0 the jungle, if I can get this ultimate off, silence, taunt, or fear into heal into Zonias, that's a lot of damage, and then come out for the smite. You definitely see the thinking that was going on there, and just really well done from the side of both teams. I think today we can take a look at this game. Benjamin Zipper and GDI getting the better of this mid-jungle duo. But on the side of the boys, Get Me Out and Iridescent Poro just absolutely making plays, refusing to give up, even though that duo compared to the Uncle and the Nephews duo were combined over 5,000 gold deficit. They were still able to make plays. They were still able to keep this game competitive when all of this lead was really on the mid-jungle duo of Uncle and the Nephews. But just really well played. Another comp like we talked about earlier. The level of execution for this is so high, and they just perform again. They do an amazing job.
That's what I was gonna say. That difference you were talking about, the gold league going Uncle and Nephews, but still the mid and jungle for the boys being able to hold in is because the ease of execution for their composition, right? It's just a much lower run than what Benjamin Zipper and Uncle and Nephews had to deal with that game. But again, as you say, they just perform on it. Like this is what they're on. This is what they've been scrimming. This is what they've been practicing, and Um, they've made it work now as they lead the pack at 3-0.